I feel like I need to go turn the other light on. Why is my hair always so freaking like because it's winter outside and like I need to turn the other light on. Hold on. It looks a little scary. You're scary. Let me turn it on. Because I look blue, y'all. I look blue when I freaking what? I tell you. A little bit better. Okay. All right. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this anyways, because when I feel called to do it. Here we go. Okay. All right, we're doing a coffee and tarot. I still have a child home who had a lot done to his mouth yesterday. He had a tooth, and I know there's other people that have this, but he had a tooth growing through his chin, and the oral surgeon was like, it was all like if you put where your little dimple is, that's how low. So like if it traveled, it could have either pushed his grown up teeth out of his mouth, or it could have started to protrude from his chin. So they had to cut that out. And then they took the wisdom teeth, which were really impacted. Um, and pushing on his other teeth. So he's just miserable right now, poor baby. My baby. I can't help it. Me, my baby. Anyway, so here we go. We are now. He couldn't sleep last night because of the pain, so he's like really knocked out. And he has pain medicine. He has pain medicine. But it was still coming through, and so we've really stacked, like really made sure to stay on top of things. So anyway, so if you hear anything in the other room, it's just him rummaging around. But we made it through. Woo woo. Um, so all right. Let's see here. Um, Friendly reminder, you are look, I'm about to cut this stuff too. Can I just say I'm gonna cut it? Like not a lot, but enough. Because it's too much hair. That's why it's always in a ponytail now. All right. So coffee and tarot. We are going to spirit gets to decide what the conversation's about. And we're not putting any kind of parameters, time frames, anything like that around it. All right. And I do have my well, son of a biscuit eater. Let me go grab my phone. Mm. Hello. Um, I was wondering, like sometimes this takes a hot minute to post, but anyways, yes. And in fact, look, my I wanted to say little man. He my little man, but he's 16. Okay, he's 16. Um, yeah, he's asleep on the couch. Anyways, all right, let's go. So you are a sovereign being. You get to determine if, how, when, where, why any of these messages might apply. My recommendation is never to Cinderella something to make it fit. I'm only on this early because I didn't have to take him to school, and he is going to be home until Monday. So I'm sure he wishes under better circumstances. All right. I did not pick up. There's still something lingering over this week. And it feels like there's something specifically for today. That's the reason why they were like, hey, let's go ahead. Because I was like, yeah, do I really want to? And they're like, let's go ahead. I'm like, okay, fine. Okay. Look at my little baby hairs. You see that shit? I call them my baby hairs. Sun and the death. Like, it's kind of like the sun rising after some kind of ending, or like the sunrise. There's something about the sunrise because death kind of gives me the like nighttime, like the end, like closing out of something. I don't know. Let me stop talking for a second. We're gonna go with the 3 that are turned up, not the rest of this. 3 is a 3 and 9 are a recurring number that's coming through. We have, let me just show you. We have the 9 of cups. We have the hermit, which is also number 9. We have the 3 of cups with the world card, which is 21, which if you add together is 3. And then we have 3 on this side, 3 over here. Look, look, we all take signs differently. I do not normally get like highlight numbers and shit like that. And there's 3 people watching right now. Hello. So, to me, that's something about 3. That showed up the other day too. It was like 34, 34. So 3 is and then of course 9s are multiples of 3. There are 3 threes. Get it? That's 9. 3 times 3 is 9. Okay. Somebody must do that. Somebody must play with numbers like that and like notice things like that. I feel like something needs to go in the center. We'll probably get that in a minute. We have the 4 swords here with the Knight of Swords and the 9 of Cups. Knight of Swords being the major energy over here. Knight of Swords is the pivot card. It is what appears and feels like a sudden change because it is an abrupt or an immediate cutting of something. Like it's an irrevocable change, is what it is. That's why the Knight of Swords kind of feels like drastic, and some people interpret that as speed. But it has this night and day, like total 180, total pivot. Um, to it. So, because it cuts loose, like I am getting dead weight, like some kind of dead weight being cut loose. So something that was either bogging somebody down or something that was slowing a process down. Um, Surrounding it, 9 of Cups, which is your wish fulfillment. It is a wish, it is a desire, one that comes to fruition. And then we have the 4 swords. Now we have been talking about movement and things like that a lot. This is like the taking a break, going on vacation, a trip kind of a card. Um, Laying something to rest, though, is what I'm getting. Like something is, I picked up a trip, but I also picked up laying something to rest. And I want to focus on laying something to rest. It's kind of like it gives that mental reprieve. It's like I can finally just exhale. There's an exhale here. My mind isn't going. Grrrr. So some kind of wish fulfillment, some desire comes through that changes something and ends up giving you some kind of like mental reprieve, like a vacation from trying to figure things out and analysis paralysis and things like that. On the other side, we have the Hermit card, which is a very solitary energy that moves into the 3 of Cups, which is talks about your social network, your friend groups, your community, things like that. So it's like going from nothing to having a social life in a way, or being surrounded with individuals. And then we have the World card. The world matches the 4 swords, both talking about movement because the world card is one of like travel. So is the 4 swords. And funny enough, if I were to put these all in one great big line, it starts with the 4 swords and ends with the world card. So it's kind of like maybe a trip ends up in a very big, large move because you find community somewhere, that that it like moves you out of like isolation into community. Let's see here. I'm looking at all the different ways this could be. But it is like it goes from like the smaller minor arcana of like um again that reprieve, that movement, that joy into the world where it's like it just feels like somebody chooses it really is giving the energy of and I'm trying to think of other scenarios where this could apply, where it's like something small ends up being something big, right? So, like, going on a trip and going, "Oh, that's it, I'm moving here," and then doing the thing where you move. Like, it becomes a big change and switch up. Because it's funny because we have this coming before the Knight of Swords, and I said the Knight of Swords is like it's cutting something loose. It is something that was bogging you down, something that's weighing you down, that's slowing you down, that's stopping you. It is cutting some. It is a perfect. I didn't mean to say perfect, but it's a perfect change. It's a perfect pivot. Um, so if the Four of Swords happens first, and then as a result, the Knight of Swords, like you may do something for yourself that ends up causing you to make a major change that ends up being your wish fulfillment. Like it's the answered prayer is what I got. So, cause like, like I'm gonna take a weekend and just do something for me. I'm gonna take the weekend and just go away somewhere. Yes. Well, and just I'm answering about my son who had all his jaw surgery, but like he also has a very like headaches and mood swings. It does like my older son was having issues, and we never realized it was his wisdom teeth pressing on nerves back here that was causing all kinds of other stuff, and we thought that it was related to something else, and it wasn't. It was that the entire time. No clue. So yeah, thank you though. Sorry. Um, So you do something like either you go on a little trip, you get away for a little bit, you take a break, you do something, and it causes you to choose to do a 180. There's like a switch up. You do something to switch up. You, the Knight of Swords, you make a change. And now the change is in your direction. The change is in, trying to think how to say this. I don't know. There's one change that leads to your wish fulfillment. That's like after you either take a break, take a trip, or just give yourself some kind of like mental reprieve from trying to figure something out. And you end up going from hermit to having some level of abundance and community and support, a reason to celebrate. Uh, Doors of opportunity open up, but I just feel like something small leads to something very, very big. Okay, let's instead of beating a dead horse, let's ask. All right, let's clarify some stuff. What is this in reference to? What card should go in the center? What is the overall energy of this? One small thing ends up being something very big, leads to something very big. Okay, I feel like that something flipped. Yep. Knight of Cups. I got a couple of things come through. There's a sense of reaching out. There's romanticizing something. Oh, Lord have mercy. Romanticizing something. Sorry, guys. This is what you get when I wake up and immediately come on here, guys, okay? Because I look like death. But oh well. I'm also like still working on my coffee, so um sometimes I just don't think about how it comes across when I get on here real busted and everything. I'm like, oh, I look like Casper, y'all. I look like Casper. Um, they're drawing me to try and connect the Knight of Cups to the Four Swords. which is kind of like it does give the energy of no like stop thinking about it. Like, stop analyzing something because there's that mental reprieve. There's that peace about something, but I'm trying to figure out how, because 'cause I'm like, is this somebody offering something and that you go on you do like, they're like it's a little something that they offer you, but it ends up leading to something bigger? Is it some, because, usually the Knight of Cups comes to you. It's something being brought to you, being on offer. Um, it is, but I can't bring myself to say somebody's going to reach out to you and give you something. Um, so I'm gonna clarify a little more. They want me to 7 of Wands. It feels like something you initiate and start for yourself, 7 of Wands, which is what I said before. It's like you choose to do something for yourself, um, that ends up creating a major change in your life, that leads to you making a change that ends up giving you your wish fulfillment. And so it almost feels like that happens first. And as a result, this occurs, the Knight of Cups. And then it's like you go from solitary in isolation to community and social and fun and getting out and about. Um, that then leads to something even bigger, like a larger change. Cause it feels like again, Knight of Swords, there's a change that you choose to pivot that gives you some kind of wish fulfillment, but it leads to more. The world feels very big. So it starts with this. So it's not like Lord, I'll get it together. This change that you do is something that you initiate and you choose, um, for yourself. Like, the reason you're doing it is for you because you know your truth. Seven of Wands is about self-respect, self-love, confidence, knowing your worth, knowing your boundaries, what you deserve, standing on business, standing in your power, standing on your truth, being authentic and transparent. It's all about you and your integrity with yourself. So this is what's like. There's a choice you make, and it's like of your own volition, but it will lead to the Knight of Cups. Okay. All right. Ooh. You may receive some kind of like internal spiritual guidance, right? Like we have the star card, which is all about spirit leading you on a path and you following the North Star home, right? Because we have on this particular one, we have the lighthouse, and it's like that's your beacon, that's your guide, right? And so it's kind of like being on the right path, following some inner guidance. Now, the star in the north and the star in the star card is the same star that's usually in the hermit card. So the hermit card usually has a lantern, and within it has the Merkaba. So you're kind of like following this star. It's inner guidance. Oh, my nose is going to town right now. Okay, so we're on to something. We have the lovers card. You're being guided to make a choice. And it may be one that requires a bit of courage, or the strength card, but also it feels like having the courage to follow this inner guidance that brings you into alignment with something. So it's almost like it is a choice that you make. It's not because of something external to you within your material world. It is totally within yourself, but it's also like your intuition, your divinity within that's kind of like propelling you to do something. Um, because again, like Four of Swords has that energy of like meditation, like going within and then feeling like I have to make this change. So there's something that you're brought to, some kind of realization that makes you make a change that gives you your desired, I don't want to say outcome, but like kind of. It is there's a choice you make internally that leads to wish fulfillment. But the Four of Swords also feels like you're doing something for yourself that helps you come to that realization. Like you are really focused on the self in this moment when you make this choice. And it takes you to the point where you come into the Knight of Cups. It could be as simple as I had no intentions of going out this weekend and then something comes up. And so I end up, I feel compelled to like say yes to something and I go and do it. And then from there, it like a domino effect leads to some kind of wish fulfillment that ends up being something bigger than I would have. So something small, like saying yes to going to a local concert or going out to eat with a friend, or, it could also be like, I'm going to go hiking by myself. I feel like I want to go hiking. I need to connect with nature. And you choose to do that. Then you go out hiking and you have some kind of spiritual experience at the top of some fucking mountain. And then you're like, I've gotta do this. You receive some kind of like, you know what I mean? It's like there's this like, they're showing me, Hansel and Gretel where, like, they're following the little crumb trail, the crumbs. That's not now that led to their demise, but that's not what yeah. Okay. So, um, so again, this would be something that seems insignificant, small, but you do something for you that's gonna pan out to be something way bigger than you realized. Going out with a friend, taking time for yourself, going on a little trip or a vacation. It's for the self, though. There's no like, you feel compelled to do it. You want to do it. It does something to nurture and feed you. It's kind of like a break. You're taking a bit of a break. Uh, uh, and from that comes something. Okay. What is this Knight of Cups? Okay, now we can switch up. Starman Tarot. What is this Knight of Cups? Your Ten of Pentacles? The Knight of Cups is your Ten of Pentacles. Okay. Something small leads to something very much so bigger. Don't you love my English? I learned how to talk yesterday. The Alien. Oh, I can tell a sneeze trying to come on. And the fucking Star, I'm telling you. And the Lovers. Hold on. You know how this goes. I didn't have it the last time, but we're doing it this time. Because I found it. We read the Alien, guys. I guess these again. Oh my god. because I love, love, love the way that they describe the alien. Okay. I bring back knowledge from distant places. Are you ready? In a world where distance or remoteness enables and creates space for imaginary lives, snapshots of the good life, all glowing smiles, it can be easy to feel strange, different, and not part of the gang. We simply don't belong. This alien, though, is here to lead you back home to yourself. The alien, the outsider, the rebel, the stranger, the one you have feared yet also secretly desired, is here to remind you that you are perfect as you are, beneath the mask of cruel imperfection. He represents your own hidden or lost wonder and miraculous powers, the parts of you that have become alien to you. In the difficulties of life, the learning, the rules, and consequences of family, school, work, relationships, parts of ourselves must remain hidden, suppressed, denied. Parts of the whole remain hidden and unknown. The alien signals your urge for freedom. Naked, untainted, there are no masks, there is no great cover up. He catalyzes self discovery and ignites the drive to question, challenge, and dissolve the walls that box us in. There is a remembering, the semblance of something more astonishing, more beautiful, and utterly miraculous surfacing. The rekindling of dreams, new possibilities, new worlds. He invites you to weave your earthly wisdom into new forms and expressions that have never existed before. He lifts you way above what you thought was possible, way beyond what you thought was you, lifting you out of your personality and its defenses and placing you back into yourself, whole and complete. The alien who carries spectacular visions and wonders must always seek a way home to the stars, the light from afar, being in this world, but not of it, reminding you that you are always, no matter what, on a journey back home to the light. The alien, also known as the hermit, which is out twice, asks you to know your worth. We talked about with the Seven of Wands. You are perfect the way that you are. Be free, seek answers within, go deeper, and understand more of the universe. Take the time to do something you've never done before. You're doing something for yourself. So you're on this journey of choosing things for you that resonate with you, that answer to some kind of desire within. In that, you come across an opportunity to make a major change, to a change that answers or kind of like leads you to a wish fulfillment. And you are presented with this. Like, I feel like the presentation comes in after you choose to do something for yourself to whatever varying degree. It's like it's something out of the norm. But likewise, whatever is on offer feels like it too is out of the norm. It's almost like by stepping out of your normal daily routine and choosing to do something for yourself, you are presented with new opportunities that are outside the norm. It's kind of like breaking free from Groundhog Day. Like you do the same movement and choices and day in and day out, so you get the same connections, the same opportunities, the same. And there's something about you making a choice to do something for you that kind of like is a bit of a break, Four Swords, from the norm that creates major, major change. So that's what the Knight of Swords is talking about. This is a pivot. This you're doing something that's outside of what you normally would do day to day. Like you're making a choice that is a complete 180 from what you normally do. Again, which then presents you with an opportunity that otherwise would not have presented itself to you. Like the only way for it to arrive is to start moving differently, doing differently, and answering whatever call kind of comes up within. So you're following some kind of like instinct, intuition, desire that then it takes you out of like your normal rut and daily routine. Um, it's like somebody asking, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend?" And you're like, same old, same thing, different day." Like that's what it feels like, but you choose to break that pattern, that cycle, that whatever, and that leads to other opportunities coming your way as a result. This is also encouraging you to listen to your inner guidance, to listen to the things that would help you to feel like you're taking a break from the normal grind of life, no matter what that is for you. Having the courage to do it, right? To listen to that instinct, that inner guidance, because when you get in a rut, it's real easy to kind of like just ignore it and be like, "Yeah, but I need to do this, kind of thing." Um, because you're being guided. It's like whatever needs to come to you that would be a major wish fulfillment can't, because of the way you have your life set up, the way that I feel like you're in Groundhog Day, like you are repeating, and I feel like this has been going on for years. Um, when was the last time that you were spontaneous? You know? And we're not talking spontaneous like, "Oh, I tried a different restaurant." We're talking like really spontaneous, like really shook up your daily routine. It brings in some other kind of opportunity for you. That is the alien. It is beyond what you thought was possible. It opens up new doors, and it has some kind of lasting impact with the 10 of Pentacles. It is the answer to something. And then because we have the star with the lovers, it's guiding you to something that's in alignment with you. And we can't ignore the fact that the lovers has come out twice. It is a major arcana card. It's almost as if it's like, if this is in regards to love, what you seek cannot find you where you're at. You have to meet it halfway. You have to change something up, because it feels like there's great distance for whatever reason. And it could be because, again, you are doing the exact same thing, which happens easily when you have children, when you have like you answer to other people, and like other people's days revolve around like you revolve around other people. Like, God dang it. Um, what you choose to do, and maybe dependent on other people. And so you're kind of like beholden to a very particular schedule, routine, area. Like, so there's this kind of like branching out, because you make that choice because you feel like, I need this. I need to shake some things up. And the thing is that what you choose doesn't necessarily shake anything. It's like anything drastic. It's just, I can't do this anymore. I got to do something different. And so it feels like a big break, right? It's healing and therapeutic to your mind, to your system, to your body, to just fucking do something different. But what you're not realizing is that is going to lead to things that should have come to you but couldn't, because it's like you created a bubble around yourself with the same thing, different day. Whatever it is couldn't reach you. So you are making choices, and you're doing something for yourself that really feels good to the self, and it leads to you being able to break away from something and get a wish fulfillment. um it allows other things to present themselves to you, opportunities. So there's heavy guidance, um but it starts from within, and it has very long-term implications. And I can't help but think that for some of you it absolutely is about a love that you feel like is like it can't reach you where you're at with what you're doing. So something that you choose to do for yourself, something very small, ends up having major impact and a major shift, and causes major change in your life. Knight of Swords, but ends up in a wish fulfillment. by choosing something that you want to do for you because you feel guided and prompted and kind of like there's this internal compass just drawing you to do different. New opportunity comes in, you open yourself up to a, either something immensely in alignment with you or a love. And either way, it takes you out of this solitary energy and almost like changes your life into a very fun loving, joyful, communal. um it breaks you out of your isolation. That's all I can. It breaks you out of isolation and allows certain things to flow into your life. There, I have a deck that's talking to me, but I'm not so sure it's the right one. Let's do hermetic. Well, you might be doing it again. I don't know what this is, but okay, okay. Tell me about the world card. It it changes your life, is what it is. That's why it literally brings something full circle and completely changes someone's life and opens things up. We might find out why three. Oh, girl, you just. I literally was like, we might find out why three is so important because they're bringing me back to the number three, and you just fucking said 3 years ago, girl, come on. Is this a do over? Oh. This decision brings your justice. It brings everything back into balance. It's kind of like um whatever you there's a sense of whatever you were missing is brought in. Things are made right. Justice two of swords. It's like what's rightfully yours comes to you. That's what I'm getting from the justice. It brings everything back into balance. This decision and the two of swords right here says peace restored, which is what I said with the four of swords. Tell me about the universe. Clarify for me. Five of wands. Does five of swords. I put it back. It came out and I was like, that doesn't feel like it. So the five of wands, five of swords. Lord of strife and Lord of defeat. It takes you out of whatever cycle you've been in where you have literally struggled. That's what the justice is talking about. It takes you out of this struggle, this strife, this sense of defeat that you somehow you're on a loop. You keep feeling like you're repeating a cycle, you're doing the same thing. And it's because it's like whatever can break this up can't get to you because of the way you have your life set up and what you choose to do with your time. And it's like there's just something that calls you to do nine of swords. You stay in the rut doing the same thing day in and out because there's certain anxieties and fears This isn't like, it feels small. So kind of like, I'm trying to think of an example to show. Like, I don't take time for myself, and go and do things that would require me to spend money because the world today, everything is so expensive, and I might put myself into a bad position. So I stay in a consistent loop of where, um, like, I know that if I bought X, Y, and Z, I might be if I went and bought that camera, I might be able to make extra money and do things and open a whole new world, of opportunity by going into photography. But if I buy that camera, then I might not have enough to cover this bill, or what if something comes up with my car, or what da, 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 da. Like, it's like minute little fears that keep you in line. It feels like the devil card, like something's keeping you in line with repeating, like, your day looks the same. Your weekends always look the same. Your months, your years. Like, you're giving to me like this has been a long time. Like, it feels so weird. It is if you haven't seen that movie, it really is Groundhog's Day. And they're bringing me to, in that movie, he starts switching things up, like doing different things because he knows it's all going to end up being the same anyways. And it's like, so even in trying to switch things up, he's still doing this, like it's still Groundhog's Day because he hasn't figured out that one thing that he needs to do. So there may have been a period of time where you tried to switch shit up, where you tried and nothing you did seemed to break the cycle. And so you quit trying. It's there's something that kept you in line. Like maybe when you attempted to switch it up, there would be more strife or more reasons to worry. Because I'm getting the Ten of Swords. Like, it reminds me of poverty, really, where you want to go and get that coffee, you want to go and da da da, but as soon as you ever do anything for you, some shit happens. That's always how it is, right? Like as soon as you think this month's gonna be good, I've got all the bills paid, everything's da da da, fucking car breaks down. Like it's almost like getting punished or feeling like things become harder every time you try to break free. So you quit trying to break free from it. Reminds me of like, when you try to train the dog and um if there's always a negative consequence to something, eventually they'll just quit trying. And so even if there are no negative consequences to something now and they're free to go, it's like the electric fence. Like they get zapped so many times with an electric fence, you could turn that thing off and they'll never attempt to test it again. So you may have had like attempts to try and do this before where you followed some kind of inner guidance and you felt negative repercussions as a result. And so you quit even trying because you feared what it would cause. Like, no one wants to feel like I am going to be punished for choosing me or choosing to do something that I feel, you know what I mean? And so it's easier just to kind of like stay in the rut. So somebody has stayed in a rut because of that. But you're going to be called, you're going to feel compelled or drawn to do something for you. And I don't know what leads you to this. Like, if this is just something that you've slowly come to where you're like, you know what? What leads to that? Why, if that's how it's been, what leads to them branching out and trying something different? Because over here, something within, something spiritually, intuitively. It's like spirit is nudging you, but it comes from within. Like there's nothing external. And I think the only reason you act on it because it's like spirit can be trying to lead you all they want. It doesn't mean that you're going to follow, right? And so s- it feels like you're being guided, but also there's something internally where you're like, you know what? It's like a wild hair up your ass where you finally are just willing to try again because you haven't for a while. High priestess and the seven of swords. See, the seven of swords really does talk about positive mental perception. It feels like there's a switch up between feeling like because high priestess would be the intuition, would be the spiritual guidance, and there for a while you felt like it was a lie, like what you were like you were being misled, that you were being gaslit by spirit, like whatever came through spiritually didn't seem to come to fruition, and so you ignored it for a period of time. But the idea of the seven of swords isn't so much about lies, theft, deception. You really felt deceived by your own intuition and instincts previously. Like it bit you in the ass. Like you got repercussions for it that were not positive for trying before to follow that. But I feel as if it's kind of like Seven of Swords happens after the Six of Swords, which the Six of Swords is a journey of transformation. Um, where the choppy waters can represent inconsistent, conflicting intuitive connections, like where your spiritual connection is kind of like in and out to a more calm, peaceful, serene connection. Like there's a transformation that happens with the Six of Swords that allows Seven of Swords for you to begin all that work you did during that transformative period led you to realize that you had to really see things. Your outlook, your perception, and how you choose to look at something massively impacts its outcome. When he goes into the army's camp, he's not seeking to deceive, he's not seeking to attack, he's seeking to maintain his sense of sovereignty. He takes the swords, but by no means does he remove anything that would prevent that army from having a successful battle. He's just taking that which he needs for his own sense of sovereignty and safety. Um, there's something about how you perceive something determines the outcome. Positive mental positioning. There's a sense of self-preservation with that. I'm trying to articulate it. It's like the words are there, but they're not there. So give me just a second. Because it's beyond just if you think positively, it's not that. In the realm of self-deception and confusing ego with intuition and things like that. Um, something happened within the Six of Swords where things have changed and you see something differently. And the actions of that person that goes into the army's camp is an act of self-preservation, trying to maintain the positive change that they have gone through. Okay. You have to remember at the heart of it, the sword suit is truth, communication, understanding. It's the mental realm. It is the lens at which you see something through. you're only because of the Six of Swords, because of the transformation you've been through, because the work that you've done, are you able to see or hold the High Priestess energy, your intuition, your guidance, your downloads differently. You have more discernment. You see something clearer. You are no longer deceiving yourself, confusing ego with intuition. And there's a recognition that in following your inner guidance, that leads to a sense of self preservation. It's kind of like you were in a hole, dug yourself out, and now you have to do what it is that you've got to do to maintain that. And there's something about understanding that following your guidance is going to do that. There's something within you that understands and recognizes I have to follow through with my inner guidance. I questioned it before. I would misconstrue it before. I would it frequently sounded like my ego. Um there was the missing element of discernment. So you didn't trust yourself. You didn't trust your own intuition. That's the reason why you were like you stayed in this loop because you're like it's like the negative side of surrender where surrender wasn't like choosing to go with the flow, it was fawning and freezing and giving up, handing your power over to the circumstances. Um but you're not there now. You're listening to your intuition, you're listening to your instinct. You have more trust with it. I'm trying to understand the universe, but they got all these other things they want to talk about first. Ace of Wands, the Chariot, and the Eight of Swords. It was your own mind, Eight of Swords, that held you back. This question of was it me deceiving myself or was it spirit? Was it my like my intuition lying to me or did my mind lie to me? That's the Seven of Swords energy. And you resisted. This is when you decided that you weren't going to even attempt to break free anymore, that you were just going to stay in the Groundhog's Day. But now something happens, which I think is, again, the Ace of Wands. Something brings you back to life, inspiration, a spark of knowing and understanding. Life force is back online. Something new comes in to breathe like life back into you and your situation. Chariot, when things align, you are going to be unstoppable. Something finally clicks, something finally aligns. So you go from holding yourself back to success, forward movement. Like you're back in your power. The Ace of Wands represents your power, but it also represents new life. Six of Pentacles. Give me just a second. Like you choosing to do something for yourself because you feel called to, and you recognize that this is the right call this time because you have the level of discernment between ego and your intuition, your spiritual guidance, the downloads that you're getting causes a complete change in your life. Knight of Swords that brings in some wish fulfillment. That wish fulfillment is something coming in and being offered to you that couldn't because you were in that rut. You were in the Groundhog's Day. And once you break free from that Groundhog's Day, what you've been needing and wanting and desiring finally comes to you. It's your turn to receive. Page of Swords, Ten of Swords. It's kind of like they're showing me somebody that floats to the bottom of a lake and just lays there. So, like, you literally just it is like fawning or freezing. You literally fawn. You just self-sacrificial, like, but the idea is the worst of it's over now. Tell me about the Page of Swords, please. That was fast. Lovers. That's the third time. Something you do positions yourself where you are now visible and capable and able to receive to receive. Six of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, Page of Swords. You do something that puts you in a position where you are noticed, seen, and able to receive something that you couldn't receive before. And I feel like this is more than just I couldn't receive it because I wasn't there mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you know what I mean? I wasn't open and receptive. You are literally, there's something very physical about this. It literally puts you into a position where something comes to you because you go from, because whatever you were doing had you in hermit mode. Something pulls you out of hermit mode and makes you very, very visible. And therefore, something comes your way. Page of Swords does feel like communication. But also, Page of Swords talks about like, kind of like gathering information. It's that observation. It's like somebody can see you. Somebody or something can see you. They couldn't because you were held up in this hermit mode, but you make yourself available and seen. Through some choice you make for yourself. Stop it. Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups with the Strength card. It required, I'm just gonna say it required a lot of strength to walk away from this cycle and to start following your instinct and your gut and your desires of this is what I want. This is you feel it. It is, and to trust it, to trust it, to trust yourself. You're following something that you have felt for quite some time, but you intellectualize because we have the Queen of Swords with the Moon. Moon is about internal spiritual guidance. It is the card of your intuition. But you intellectualized a lot. If it didn't make sense mentally, you almost like could kind of like excuse it away and you could talk it away and you could logicize it. That's my word. It's like jazzercise, but with logic. You could logicize a shit out of something. And it's like you would break it apart, pull it apart. Like if it didn't fit with logic, you didn't do it. So it stayed under the surface. A lot of what you felt drawn to, I would dare I say, even at some point, you couldn't even feel it. You might have felt like energy, but you didn't know what it was because you wouldn't even give your intuition the light of day. And even when you did and you were picking up on it and you were hearing it, you still stuffed it down like, nope, nope. Everything is made here in my mind. My decisions are made in my mind. Okay. That's changing. Wheel of Fortune, King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is a chariot of earth. That is things aligning in your 3D, in your material world. This moves beyond just your intuition, just a knowing, an understanding, any kind of internal change or movement into something within your reality. Things begin moving, train horn, within your reality. The devil, you break free. Anything else? So do you want me to pull 2 cards and then we will wrap this bad boy up? When the Lovers comes out in all 3 decks, I have to say this is moving to for someone, a soul connection. Because Lovers is about choices. It is about things that are in alignment, that are meant for you. But I cannot ignore that somebody is moving closer to the right one, because the right one could not reach you where you were at. It was not because this person didn't want to find you or connect with you. There was, you set your life up so that they couldn't. But also this can very much talk about the right path aligning. We've got the star card here a million times. Queen of Cups. So you're moving from Queen of Swords energy, because that Queen of Swords just like, she's, take a look. She's got a head right here just hanging. She's got a head. Like, she'd cut that intuition off like, nope. Because she has the eagle eye view. She's looking at reality and going, no, intuition, I'm not trusting you again, because look at all reality. It's completely contrary to what you're saying. Someone's trusting their emotions, their intuition, their esoteric connection. And as a result, something is going to be birthed. So that is a big transformation. And yet again, we have the Knight of Cups, 6 of Pentacles, the Empress. You're going to receive this. Whatever this is, when it does present itself, when the Knight of Cups, because you're making some choices, you're making some changes, you're doing some things for you, it opens the door for a wish fulfillment, because now suddenly you're seen, you're open, you're vulnerable, you're receptive, you're following the guidance, you're meeting something halfway, and it can come to you now. That's the point. It can come to you. I cannot get away from a major move or some kind of change. Like, think of, because of where I live, X, Y, and Z can't come to me. I have to move, and then things happen. That's an example, but applied to all kinds of situations where it's like, because of where I'm at, it cannot reach me. But in choosing to do for me what is right for me, what feels good to me, my inner guidance that I know is more than just my ego trying to connect me to, you know what I mean? Like, I'm answering my inner guidance and I'm trusting it now, because I can tell the difference between that and my ego. And I am feeling called or compelled to something because it will bring me peace, because I can feel and sense the peace in it. I'm saying yes. And that, in doing so, leads to some major change in my life that I don't realize just how immense it's going to be. But in it, I sever and cut myself off from how things have been. Because in Groundhog's Day, when he finally figures something clicks, something happens. And he chooses something because his heart leads him to choose that. And he wakes up the next day, and it is the day after Groundhog's Day. Something changes. So, because we've got the Knight of Cups, because you're ready to receive, 6 of Pentacles, Empress. She's the epitome of receptivity, of femininity. but also she's not pregnant in this one. The egg is broken. The new beginning has begun. It's like 6 of Pentacles. You wouldn't let something come to you. Because here, this apple's been here the entire time. It is taking a bite of the apple. 7 of Wands. It's like I'm doing something for me, not because I think it's going to get me somewhere. And maybe that's how you were operating. You would get an intuitive hit, and then your ego would be like, yes, let's do this, this, and this because I deserve that. I'm going to blah, blah, blah. And so suddenly you're doing it for the wrong reasons because your ego has taken over because it wants the end outcome of something and not because each step you feel guided to do the thing. Somehow your ego would overtake, misinterpret, and misalign your intuition before. Those two things feel very separate now. Very distinguishable. One does not get, like, ego does not get to override your intuition anymore. So you're doing things again, seat of truth, seat of power, seat of confidence, seat of knowing, 7 of Wands. I'm doing it because it's the right thing to do, not because my ego creates some grandiose story, inflates it, and then compels me to make choices and decisions that are not actually in alignment with me. You're not forcing it to happen. You're just following your inner compass. King of Swords. Where the Queen of Swords quick to cut something off. King of Swords makes decisions and takes actions accordingly. King of Swords, King of Pentacles. This one decision that you make for you because you feel compelled to, not because the outside world says it's right, not because the circumstances look right, not because your ego's like, ooh, it means we can do this. No, you're just doing it because you're like, I need to do this. I want to do this. It's for me. King of Swords, you make a decision, you take action, and somehow, again, remember, the King of Pentacles is about things actually happening in your life now. It's no longer just an idea, a notion, a want, or a desire. It takes up fruition within your reality. So I'm gonna leave it there because we can go in circles on this, but it's like spirit's like, I want you to understand the reason why something happens now as opposed to before. And even if you knew and understood that, it's kind of like, no, no, no. I think you really need to understand. It's like getting a second chance and something not, it's like a do-over. And it's kind of like a do-over. And you know how you have that, like, okay, last time this is what went wrong. You got this. It's kind of like that. So stay in doing something because you feel called, compelled, and know that you're meant to do it. Not for the, ooh, it might mean that I get this, or ooh, don't let ego take over. You're doing it because it's good for you. It's right for you. It feels right. It feels in alignment. It brings up upon a sense of peace. You're doing it because you understand you're following your inner guidance without the influence of your ego. And that's when something can arrive. So it's like you're not doing it for the sake of the offer. You're doing it for the sake of the self. I'm doing this for me, and as a result, I get the Knight of Cups. I'm not gonna do this because I know it'll give me the Knight of Cups. That's the wrong reason. Hmm. I'm gonna leave it there. Is what it is. I hope that it finds whoever it's meant for. I hope you guys have a fantastic, wonderful day. And I am going to, gosh, take care of business today. I got a lot to do. I hope y'all have a fantastic day. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you. I will. I'll talk to you again. I'll see you at the next read. Bye.